Mothers who willingly became pregnant, did pregnancy end up being traumatizing for you? Not traumatizing, but also not heavenly. I liked feeling the kicks. And I liked how the time felt special. I for sure do not want to go through it again, even though it was 1000% worth it. My planned pregnancy was very traumatic. I got bad morning sickness, kidney stones, early labor that did stop, multiple trips, and then an emergency induction at 37 weeks. But I do know lots of women who actually had very easy pregnancy and enjoyed it. My second pregnancy has been easier and I've enjoyed it somewhat. I have two, both planned. I always thought I was weird because I've never seen pregnancy as beautiful. I'm grossed out by it. The kicks and belly movements were creepy. Seeing the fetus on an ultrasound wasn't cute. I didn't melt when I heard their heartbeats. I didn't like my body. I didn't have that feeling that I never loved someone so much in my life, never felt love like this when they were born. Now they're bigger and of course I love them to death. I just didn't have this dramatic feeling some women speak of. I always kept those thoughts to myself, but over time I have met others like me, so I know I'm not alone in this. It's okay either way. Currently on my third. My pregnancies have all been great. No nausea. No stretch marks. No weird cravings. No mood changes. Don't think I was peeing too much more. My hair became so thick and lush and I slept just fine. I really enjoy being pregnant. My favorite is feeling the baby move and kick in my belly. It's just so fun. The only negative pregnancy symptom I had, other than the big belly, was feeling tired. This got worse with each pregnancy. And I was wondering why until my sister, in med school and fresh from her OB rotation, said, "Well, you're a few years older with every pregnancy, right? Lol. Makes total sense." Childbirth and afterwards did traumatize me. I do not like being around babies because it triggers PTSD and major postpartum depression. Flashbacks. I love my daughter, but the first couple of years until the third birthday, for me, at least, were horrendous. I just couldn't do it. Pregnancy sucked. Birth was literal hell. First 4 months were purgatory. One and done. But I love her more than life itself and would go through it again if I had to keep her. The idea that pregnancy is either heavenly or traumatizing is a false dichotomy. For many people, it is just kind of meh. Also, nothing is certain in life, so you really just have to be ready for everything. I had a pretty easy pregnancy. The first trimester was annoying, but I wasn't super sick. Just nothing sounded good. I had to inject myself with a blood thinner due to a blood clot history. But I got used to it. I never got too big. Labor and delivery sucked a lot and now I'm still nursing my 8-month-old. But I would take being pregnant over constantly nursing. I'm trying to make it a year. Edit. I don't hate nursing itself. It's cheap, convenient, and a reason to cuddle with my baby. It's just honestly a lot to give of yourself on top of having already been pregnant for so long. And this is something I didn't think about before doing it. I'm proud that I've done it this long. But I will be relieved when I get to be done. I hated being pregnant. I have issues with people telling me what to do. Imagine feeling like all of society telling me what to do. I felt so policed. I also had diabetes, so those 12 needles a day were fun. I am not traumatized from it. But it isn't happening again. My first pregnancy was tough. I was willing to try a second time because I didn't want my kid to be an only child. And because sometimes the experience of different pregnancies can vary. It didn't for me. The second pregnancy was also tough. No more for me. I need to be able to be present for the family I already have. First pregnancy sucked ass. Second pregnancy sucked significantly more ass. Labor and birth were perfect, though okay hand light skin tone. My first pregnancy was pretty easy. No complications or major issues. But it was my delivery that was immensely traumatizing. The only reason I was okay with being pregnant a second time is because I knew that the delivery would be a planned C-section and I knew exactly what to expect. My pregnancies were awful. I was miserable. The first 3 I was sick all the time. Last OE I ate everything. Loved feeling my baby kick and move. Then baby was born and everything was perfect. Pregnancy sucks, but it's worth it if you feel like a child is what you want. I loved being pregnant. Childbirth, I could have done without, though. For me personally, pregnancy was very easy. I had very little nausea. Only lasted maybe 3 weeks. No vomiting. No pains. No urges to pee all the time. No stretch marks. No complications. The worst I had was an extremely itchy belly in the 3rd trimester and insomnia during the final few weeks. I could still bend and touch my toes 1 week before my due date. I actually loved being pregnant so much that I got sad as my due date was approaching, simply because I wouldn't be pregnant anymore. For others, I imagine it certainly can be traumatizing. For me, it wasn't. You have to remember that human gestation is only 10 months. For a mother with empathy and a longing for a child, that's a small blip in time compared to the 18+ years of raising and knowing that child. I was terrified of being pregnant and giving birth, but my desire to be a mom was greater. I ended up having hyperemesis gravidum, a high-risk pregnancy, a low birth weight baby, and an emergency C-section. The odds were stacked against me, but I still wanted another one so she could have a sibling. And plus I just wanted another one. It didn't happen, but I don't regret anything. She is perfect. It has been the most fulfilling experience of my life so far, but I speak only for myself. My planned pregnancy wasn't traumatic, but it definitely wasn't magical or beautiful. I had pretty bad morning sickness for 22-ish weeks and lost 15 pounds from the inability to eat. Once the morning sickness subsided, I got hit with terrible acid reflux. I also had pretty bad hip and back pain. However, there's a lot more these days to minimize discomfort. I immediately started acid reflux medication and took Tums religiously. When my back started hurting, I began physical therapy. I also wore compression socks my whole pregnancy to reduce swelling and varicose veins. My birth was also pretty smooth. I had a planned C-section. While I didn't love being pregnant and the first few days of postpartum recovery sucked, I would definitely consider doing it a second time. It was what it was. My first was uncomfortable. Frankly, can't remember second. My labors weren't great. I recommend having someone other than your husband at hospital to advocate. Preferably someone who has a clue. I wouldn't say traumatizing, but mine started easy then took a turn about midway. I didn't throw up once. No swelling. No running to the bathroom every 10 minutes. All those things most women experience while pregnant. I was healthy, lost weight, and carried so high it was hard to tell I was pregnant. Then my gallbladder turned against me and I ended up in the hospital for 2 days. Now the birth. Let's just say there's a reason I only have one child. Did you know breech birth is hereditary? Nope. Me either. Of the 7 kids from 3 sisters, my one is the only one who said, "Nope, I must stay." Vaginal breech birth after the big-handed doctor tried to manually picture it. It was worse. Turn my son around is not a recommendation. So no, not traumatized, but didn't do it a second time. Edit to add. I don't regret a minute of it. Okay, maybe the first 3 months of colic. But after that we were good. My son is truly an amazing man and I love being his mom. Parts of it were not awesome lol, like peeing every 5 minutes and I had morning sickness. It wasn't crazy, just run of the mill. But yes, there were parts that were pretty close to magical. Like when I first felt my daughter distinctly move. Before that it was little wiggles, and then there was this whole big movement. It was really special. I loved carrying her around with me everywhere up until that final stretch lol, then it got pretty uncomfortable. But no problems. No trauma.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.